Hey Brian, you're our meteorologist on scene here. Let us know what's going on at the track. What's the forecast? We're going to have rain all day. We got to get some breaks. Tell me what's happening.
Well, currently, based on Eastern time, it's just 10 minutes until noon, and we've got rain at the track. Light rain. It is breaking up. Let me bring up a few screen grabs. First of all, I will start off with the local radar. As you can see, Daytona International Speedway is a little circle there near Daytona Beach. Rain showers being reported on top of it from all of my people at the track on Twitter and from the media. Now, as I do a time lapse here, the one thing you'll notice is there is some breaks just off towards the, pretty much off to the west-southwest. So that break is good news, but showers and mist are possible behind it. Now, what other thing I want to show as far as the rain goes, as I pull myself back out here, is to show up another screen. There are two important other elements here for us to be looking at. Hold on here. Let me just make sure I get that back up and running. And what we're going to be seeing here is, the big thing is that's just one single site radar. The other aspect is to see where the rain is that's out over the Gulf of Mexico. So what we do have just north of Titusville, that is where the track is. That's where the rain currently is. There is this break just to the west and through central, but more rain waits in the Gulf. Now the question is that we're really going to have to watch is, will that rain come more east or will it lift off towards the north? If it does lift north, and we don't see any fill-in behind it, then they could actually get the race in. So the question you were asking, I think the rain definitely will delay the start of the race, the 1:30, 1:29 start of the race, as they dry the track. It will take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours with the kind of conditions without any sunshine to dry the track. But the one thing that keeps me nervous, this is what we call a water vapor loop, and as you can see, lots of moisture continuing to stream in out of the Gulf of Mexico. So there's plenty of moisture. There's moisture there to spark showers. It's just going to be a matter of, will those showers spark? Now, initially, when I started things off first thing this morning, I wasn't as confident. I really thought that the chances of us seeing a washout were about 75%. If that lifts north, that could scrap everything. And as a fan first, well, meteorologist first, but also a fan, I want to see the race. My family wants to see the race, so I'm going to try to find that silver lining. We'll really know once we get into about the race time, maybe 2 o'clock Eastern, of whether or not that activity continues to push off towards the north. And if it does, and we don't see much development behind it, we could actually get the race in. It just may be about 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours later than anticipated.
Is there a place we can go to stay in touch with your radars? I mean, your first radar looked really looked promising. It looked to me like the showers, the band was moving north more than east, but your vapor trail looks horrible. So is there a way we can stay in touch as we get closer?
Well, I'm on Twitter. I'm known as the NASCAR_WXMAN, which is abbreviation for weatherman, so NASCAR_weatherman. Of course, here at Google+, Brian Neudorf, Neudorff, Brian with an I. And then on Facebook, the NASCAR_WXMAN. Are great ways on social media to keep up on it. Plus, SBNation.com, the NASCAR site, that I also will update and put up updates as far as weather goes. So you were looking for race weather information, I will be posting that and even getting ready to do another update for this afternoon on the possibility of maybe getting a break in here so that we can go racing on Sunday instead of maybe on Monday.
Fantastic work.
Got on this. Do you think this thing's going to track north?
I paused because
no.
No, that doesn't. I had to stop and think. A lot of the models were showing north. That's what it looked like last night. But what I thought looked like a northern movement came to bring it across almost due east. Is really just going to be determined once that moisture in the Gulf hits shore, and where it's going from there will be determined. It could. I think right now, I hate to say this because I don't believe in percent chances of rain. It's just a convoluted, confusing system. But for that possibility of that front going north, that boundary going north, I think right now it could be 50-50. It really will determine what happens once it hits shore and if any more development takes place once it makes shoreline. That's the question. There's a lot of moisture, and I have to tell people and I've been covering the weather for NASCAR for quite some time, and especially Atlanta. There was a break there during the, sorry, my phone's going off. There was a break during that rain coming through, and I said, be careful. It's not the rain you see, but the rain you don't. That's the problem, meaning the rain that develops at the very last minute that you can't see on radar.
Hey Joe, how does this, and I don't know how much rain they've had so far, but how does this affect the racing surface at Daytona? What can we expect?
Well, the biggest thing you're going to see is the track will turn, if it gets a sizable amount of precipitation, what we call the track will go green. Before the rain, there was a lot of rubber laid down, so there actually was good grip. All of the rubber seems to embed itself into the all the cracks, and you know, the surface of the track fills it in to where it's more smooth. It actually is an asphalt rubber combination. As it rains, all that rubber gets washed out, and you're back to straight asphalt. So what we call a green track. The stick that you would have had late yesterday will be completely gone this morning.
And that's going to be a mess with the rear spoilers as light as they are. These cars are going to be sliding all over the place, I would think.
It's definitely going to be, like I said, the grip that you had yesterday for the Nationwide, those drivers that participated in the Nationwide race and are taking off again today, it's going to be a completely different surface. The track will be green.
Hey, Brian, the best case scenario, of course, would be for the sun to come out because it's going to help the jet dryers dry the track. But according to your vapor map, it doesn't look like we can rely on any help from the sun, which is going to delay, correct?
Yeah, I don't see the sun. So 2 to 3 hours to dry the track once they get a chance to get that. Plus what we saw right after the, I think it was the Bud Shootout practice when they did the fact, or one of the Sprint Cup practices, was the fact that there was drizzle that you couldn't see on radar. And with enough moisture, drizzle could be a problem that we can't see. So that's going to have to be a condition. Plus, keep in mind, temperatures are not going to get much more because of cloud cover, aren't going to get much more than, say, 63, 64 degrees for the rest of the day. So it's not going to be very warm at all. And it's going to be breezy. There are winds around 20 miles an hour across the area. So all of that will play a factor as far as grip and how the car handles and how it's set up. Now, they at least got experience with some of the practice with cooler temperatures, but that sun helps heat up the track. No sun, you don't get a lot of heat into the track except for what the cars put down.
Brian, in your experience, at what time will they call the race?
My experience, this is the Daytona 500, you know, from what I've experienced, NASCAR will do everything because Daytona's got lights. Let's look back at Atlanta, again, when we were getting ready to, excuse me for the cough, but get into the chase. And they held on very, very late for that one as well. So if there's any possibility, they're going to try to get it done today because the forecast for Monday during the day doesn't look nearly as good. Better chance Monday night, but there's a glimmer of hope. I'm backing off my original thought that this was a complete wash throughout the afternoon, that there's a very, very small chance that we see a break. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic, as I like to call it, as far as rain is still a possibility, but if we just get a big enough window, then they can go.
Joe, will they race under the lights at Daytona if they have to push it till later?
You know, I was talking to somebody earlier about that in a Hangout, and I really don't think so. With the Pepsi 400 run at night, you know, why would you run the 500 at night? I think that they would push that off until tomorrow, and with tomorrow's forecast of rain, we're going to end up going into Tuesday if the rain persists. I really think.
Will they run a Daytona 500 on Tuesday?
Yeah, they have to run it. They got to get on to where are they going now? They're going to Phoenix next, so they've got to get the guys. They got to get loaded up and go. So I think Tuesday is the drop dead date.
Well, from all my media sources who were in the media center talking to NASCAR and listening, like Bob Pockris and some other ones, they were saying that they were going to do whatever they could to get this race in today. I mean, they end under the lights, so why not get the race? Even if you get started while it's still daylight and race majority under the light, I personally think they will try, especially with everybody who's been there all week. That's a lot of money to dish out for a week, especially if they make sure the fans to be there.
Absolutely. You're going to want to see everybody that's there does not want to have to postpone their event and go off into another day. It means a day off of work for all the fans, and there's a lot of logistics that just don't line up. So hopefully they do get it off today.
Well, the television partners have a big impact as well. They have a vested interest in the audience available today versus a Monday or a Tuesday. So they're going to push for getting it in today for sure.
Let's hope for the best. Keep our fingers crossed.
Basically from a weather standpoint, and I'm the main focus of this. I mean, I am kind of changing my tune from about 5 hours ago, seeing things breaking up. But again, it's the rain I don't see, or the rain that hasn't formed yet, that could be a problem. Especially even though there is no sun, energy does still make its way through the clouds, still can activate the atmosphere, and still can spark up some showers. So
Brian, it's 12 noon now. What say we? What time would be a good time to reconvene and do another quick on-air hangout to give an update?
Well, let's see what happens. Well, it's 12 now. I'd say the race is supposed to start in an hour and a half scheduled time. If it happens, if it's delayed, then I'd say maybe in about 2 hours might be a nice idea. Maybe then 2-3 hours would we have an idea of where the rain is going to actually be heading and what's forming and what's going on.
Okay, let's reconvene at 2 p.m. for a 10-minute update, if that sounds good with you.
I like it.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Fuel up the jet dryers and let's get them moving. See you later.